Hello, hello. This is Paint Tuesday here on Contagious Creativity. How are you? On Tuesdays, we get into our paint box and we create backgrounds for our junk journals, our altered books, our artworks, for scrapbooking, for anything that we need to put some paint on and make a wonderful background. So today we are going to do what I call Pharaoh's Gold background. The reason I'm calling it Pharaoh's Gold is because this is one of my favorite golds in the whole world. It's by Modern Masters. Let me turn that up. Hopefully you can see that. I've got the lid off so I don't want to spill it. But it is just a lovely, lovely gold. So I think you can find that a lot of places now. I think some of the craft stores, some of the DIY stores carry Modern Masters now, so it's easier to find. You used to have to order it. Okay, I'm also going to use my very favorite color. I think this is my very favorite color from Golden, and it is called Cobalt Teal. And I'm going to use this. It's new to me. I found this, I think, at Tuesday Morning. Don't you love Tuesday Morning? A paint dauber by Ranger in called Grape Soda. So that's what we're going to use to create this wonderful background today. And this little palette knife. You can use any kind. And I just put this down here because when I opened this, I kind of set a paper towel down on top to soak up what was around the edge because I like to keep my edges clean. And then I thought, that's pretty cool. So I did it a second time and I love that. So that's going to show up in a book somewhere at some time, promising. Yay, yay. And so I've already put some gesso, some clear gesso on these pages. And, whoops, I'm protecting them. And I don't know, I sort of just love that. Like it is the background of what we did yesterday with our stamps. So I may alter that a little bit, but I'm not going to fool with it too much, I don't think, because I love it showing through. So what I'm going to do is the liquid fluid acrylics from Golden, you don't need to shake. You need to shake your craft ones, but you do not need to shake. It's always really well emulsified. But I was getting down to the bottom of my bottle here, my tiny little bottle. I don't know where my big one is. And so I added just a few drops of water to it just to extend it a little further. So I'm just going to put a few drops, and that's probably too much, too many. And I'm just going to drop a couple of blobs of my Pharaoh's Gold on here. And then I'm just going to start playing with this. And I don't want to play too much because that will combine it all into one coloration. And that's probably too much right there. So I am going to go ahead, I'm going to take it over on this page and do a little bit around the edges, just because, to make it uniform. So there's a little bit of paint there, so let's get it off. And I guess we can come in and do some in here, cleaning off that little scraper. Okay, I've done enough damage there for one day, I think. And I am going to let this dry a few minutes, and I will be right back to show you what we're going to do on the next step, because this is pretty darn juicy right now. And I could actually do this. Hold your breath. And maybe be able to open the page and take them apart again. Maybe, maybe not. And that gives us a little different look, and it dries it somewhat, but I still used a little too much paint on there, so I will be back when this dries. I'm back, and I dried this. It took less than 5 minutes. I dried it with a hair dryer, and just to tell you how to do that in a book page is dry it from this side and also dry it from this side. I don't like to use a heat tool to do it, but you know, do what you need to do. I didn't want to lose any of these nice raised areas right in here. I hope I'm on camera for that. So that's why I dried it with a hair dryer, or you could let it air dry. You could walk away and wait till tomorrow to come back. So dry from both sides of the page, okay? And you can see we've got a head start on tomorrow's page because some of it got over there, but that's okay. So now I am going to open this paint dauber that I have never used before. I know you're probably laughing at me saying, oh my gosh, Rebecca, why haven't you used that? I've probably got about 10 of these that I bought and never even opened yet, but that's what this year is about. I am going to open things and try them and play with them and share with you what I'm finding out, and some of this might be new to you all also. So anyway, that's enough yakking. And also, while I had the video stopped, I went ahead and took pictures of this background. I could have scanned it, but I didn't want to waste that much time. But I took some really good overhead views of this, so I can use that as a background in my other art sometimes. Now, I see a stamp up here that I think I am going to use with this dauber, because it says you can use it on stamps. So let's see how I do with that. But I think this is pretty cool and pretty appropriate for our February. And let me see what this does. I think I'm going to stamp it on a piece of scrap paper first, just to see if I got it inked up well, since I seem to have gotten myself inked up well, so that kind of works. So let me go ahead and put just a little bit more on there. Maybe this is the way I need to stamp. I also probably need to get out my Misty. I did buy a Misty last year, so why don't you get that out and use that, Rebecca? So let's come right in here. Press, not rock. Hold your breath. Oh, that worked somewhat. It's not quite as dark as I had hoped, but that's okay. It gives kind of a ghostly look, and I like that. So I'm just going to take this and rub it over on this page to get some of that purple off the stamp, to kind of clean my stamp. And I will clean it with a baby wipe in a few minutes. Then I am going to come in here and I'm just going to stamp a little of this on my palette knife and see how that works. Ah, it works pretty well. So just come in here and scrubbing it. What the heck, Rebecca? Just go ahead and daub a little bit and see what happens. Do you rub it? I guess you can rub it. And I guess you can actually daub. And that gave some little circles. I'm loving that. And of course, in art, always in art, you want to make at least 3 areas that have the same color in them. That's just kind of visually what is necessary. So I'm kind of liking rubbing this. There's so much bulk in behind here, and I don't want to lose some of this whiteness in here. So I don't want to get carried away, as I want to do. So you can dab it and come in with your palette knife and scrape it. Of course, I've got it on my table. Always have it on my table. I might win the designation of world's messiest artist. Just scrape that a little bit. And I think I am loving that. And this stays active quite a while. I can come in and scrape through it. Kind of liking that. Look, that's one of the first spots I did. I can come back and scrape in there. Pretty interesting little stuff in this little paint dauber bottle. Don't want to get too carried away. And I lost a little bit of my gold there, but I guess that's okay. It kind of dulled my gold down. Let me get a baby wipe. I need a baby wipe anyway. My fingers are covered and my stamp is covered. So let me see if I can recover that little bit of gold in there that we lost. I think we can. So I think I'm going to call this done. This is a beautiful background. It was pretty nice with just the teal and the Modern Masters metallic, but I wanted to give it a little more pop, so I thought this purple grapey color would be nice to use in there. And I'm pretty darn happy with this background, and I hope you'll try it. And if you don't have Modern Masters, use any kind of metallic paint. The Treasure Gold that I usually use would probably do something very similar. And I'm gonna try these little paint daubers. You're gonna see those more in my art as we go on, because I really like that. It's still wet. It stays wet a long time, so there's lots of opportunities with that. Get into your studios or your creative spaces. Get out just a little bit of paint. We didn't make too big of a mess here. Just a little bit, but you're probably neater than I am. So just make sure you clean your tools and keep them nice for your next time. And so this is Rebecca on day 49 of our daily creative practice, saying get into your contagious creativity and pass it on. May joy be with you all.